Hey YouTube, it's Mrlubufu, and oddly enough, there have been 48 cards spoiled from this Magic the Gathering M13 core set, 2013 core set, whatever you want to call it. Most of these are, actually all of them are commons or uncommons. So my belief is that someone was able to get up a hold of a couple of of one of the deck builder toolkits that were posted on eBay, and then they held back on sharing the rare. Because this set doesn't come out till mid-July, and normally spoilers start 3 to 4 weeks before, and we're way early for this one. So yeah, we've got more commons to look at, and this is going to be somewhat of a long video because there's a ton of things I want to talk about. I love, this is honestly the most psyched I have been for a core set, it's just flat out. So first card I'm going to go over is Angelic Benediction. It's a reprint from Alara. It's a 4-cost, 3 colorless, and a white enchantment. The enchantment has Exalted, and whenever a creature you control attacks alone, you may tap target creature. This card, a fun card in my eyes. It's another Angel style card, and it makes me happy. Other than that, nothing too bad. Next we have Attended Knight. 3 mana for a 2/2 first strike. That when it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 white soldier token onto the battlefield. I think this is certainly a decent card to put into limited, at least. In standard, not so much. You've got better options for 3. Silverblade Paladin being probably the most powerful of them, but definitely a good limited card. Next you have Aven Squire. It's a 1/1 flyer for 2 that also has Exalted. Again, another good filler card for your limited decks. I'll be trying to go mostly on limited. If there's something I think we'll see standard play, I will mention it. Next we have Crusader of Audric, which is one we actually have a photo for. It's a 3 mana star, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. And it looks like my photos are not working. That's fine. Yeah, you can see my internet's dead. Okay. Next we have Griffin Protector. It's a 4 mana, 2/3 flyer, that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Honestly, for 4 mana for 2/3 flyer, I like the Nephalia Sea Kite better, but this is still a solid card. We'll see where it plays, but maybe a one-of in some limited decks. Definitely no standard play. Next you have Guardians of Akrasa. It's another reprint from Alara. It's a 3 mana 1/4 defender with Exalted. This one I'm not sure how good it'll be. If the format is as fast as M12 was, which I doubt it, because M12 had Bloodthirst and that was such a big mechanic. But if it is as aggressive, this card's so good. Just a big horned turtle that pumps you guys when they attack is pretty good. Next you have Knight of Glory. 2 mana 2/1 pro black with Exalted. Kind of a reference to White Knight from the pro black part, and instead of giving it first strike, they gave it Exalted. I like it. It's a solid 2-drop. Next you have a reprint that I was really hoping would come back, and thank goodness it did. It's O-Ring. White needs a little bit of spot removal, and Oblivion Ring's a pretty good one. Yeah, that was professional. Good yawn. Next we have a very good limited card in Pacifism. 2 mana, enchanted creature can't attack or block. Another good enchantment aura to come around. And one that I like. Doesn't go so well with Bruna, Light of Alabaster, but we'll go with what we have. And then I already covered Sarah Avatar in a previous video, but you can still see, if that wants to load, I'll show a huge picture. Next we have another reprint in Divination. It was in M12, it was in Dark Ascension, and looks like they're putting it in M13. So you could have, 3 different sets of cards if you played 3 different divinations. There's the Sarah Avatar, kind of blurry. Okay, maybe 23rd card in your limit deck. Next you have Encrust, new card. 3 mana enchant artifact or creature. Enchanted permanent doesn't untap, and its activated abilities can't be activated. It's not as good as Claustrophobia, but certainly a decent removal spell in my eyes. The fact is you can tap artifacts too, and we haven't seen any artifacts yet, so we're not sure how good this might be. I mean, you can shut down equipment with this, which is something to know, because it's an activated cost. Next, you have Essence Scatter. It's a colorless blue instant counter target creature spell. Since they're not reprinting Mana Leak, this is sort of taking the 2 mana cost for counter spells. Not insane and not, not as good as Mana Leak. We'll see if it sees some play. Next, you have Fairy Invaders, 5 mana, 3/3 flash flyer. I like this guy in limited as a 1-of. I mean, a 3/3 flyer for 5 is already fair, and maybe you can eat something with the flash. So be wary if in, a month and a half, someone leaves up 5 mana and open attacks. Next, you have the card that's causing the most amount of controversy that I've seen, Jace's Phantasm. It's blue for a 1/1 flyer that gets +4/+4 as long as an opponent has 10 or more cards in his or her graveyard. A lot of people are calling this the new Delver. I am probably going to disagree. This reminds me a lot of Sleight of Visions, I think, where it was it can trip for 1 blue, but if they had 20 or more cards, you get to Ancestral Visions, and 20 cards is considerably more than 10. But I'm sketchy to think about what this guy's doing. I honestly don't think that he's going to be as format defining as Delver, and I think some people are going to try and make it work, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be that insane. We'll see, because this next card, Mind Sculpt, 2 mana, target player puts 7 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. See, that's where it gets sketchy. Is you can, mill them, play Phantasm turn 1, turn 2, mill them 7 once they cast 3 instants or sorceries or stuff like that. You have a 5/5. This is going to be interesting. Next, you have Negate, a good sideboard counterspell. Glad to see it's reprinted. So professional right now. Next, we have a reprint of Scroll Thief, which makes me really happy. I loved casting that card in limited. Standard, of course, no play. Tolerance Invocation. So we saw the rare recently, Tolerance Sky Summoner, and here you have the uncommon, which puts 2/2 blue drake creatures with flying onto the battlefield. And I believe that there's going to be a common, and uncommon, and a rare for each one, just to make it match. And last, we have Welkin Turn, which is one of my favorite cards in Zendikar Limited, but in here it depends how fast the format is. But it's a 2/1 flyer for 2, so nice and aggressively costed. On to Black, which Black I loved from the spoiler so far. You have Bloodhunter Bat. It's a 4 mana 2/2 flyer that when it enters the battlefield, target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I think it's okay. I mean, it's no Falcon Wrath Noble, but it could be okay. I actually have a reprint that I really like. It's a reprint of Duress. Black needed its 1 mana discard spell that wasn't Despise, and Duress certainly is a good help against those Delver decks, that's for certain, if you're playing Black and controlling it. Next, we have another Yawn, which is a mythic rare. No, at this rate, it seems like it's common. So we have Duskmantle Prowler. It's a 4 mana 2/2 haste exalted. I'm not that impressed with this guy, to be honest. If you're casting a 4-drop guy with haste, you generally are beating down with more than 1 guy, so not that good in my opinion. Next, you have Duty Bound Dead. It's a 1-drop 0/2 exalted that you can regenerate it for 4. This guy seems okay. It looks like 2 toughness is going to be the magic number, which makes him slightly less good. But he still seems okay. Now we have Harbor Bandit. It's 3 mana 2/2. It gets +1/+1 as long as you control an island, and can be unblockable for 2 mana. Not that impressed with this guy either. I mean, you could have a 3/3 unblockable, but he just costs you 2 mana every turn. That's nothing impressive. Then we have the mirror to the Knight of Valor, Knight of Infamy. It's 2/1 pro white exalted. I like this guy as well. It's pretty cool. Next we have Liliana's Shade. 4 mana 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a swamp and put it in your hand. And then it's a shade. It gets +1/+1 for black. I think this is okay. Maybe it's a 1-up or so. Next we have Mark of the Vampire. It's a 4 mana enchant creature, has +2/+2 and has lifelink, and this is unplayable. Do not play this in limited. Next comes a card that I love. It's so simple. It's Murder. It's 3 mana, destroy target creature. They got, in my opinion, they got the casting cost right. They got the name right. If you look at the text, you see it's just destroy target creature. Simple, perfect. This is one of my favorite cards that they've spoiled. It's so simple and beautiful. So, yes, looking forward to casting Murder in limited. We also have a reprint of Ravenous Rats. It's a 2 mana 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Depends what sort of deck you're playing, but Ravenous Rats could be okay. I'm not sure. I know it sees some Pauper play, but that's in the mono black discard aggro deck. Next we have a fun little reprint that I like, Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Simple. Another good reprint in my eyes for a few decks. I mean, people are saying, like, every time a new set comes out, ooh look, mono black control is available. And this is not, mono black control is not gonna be the deck to beat. But yeah, I went on a rant there. A reprint of Tormented Soul, which is, I think it's a good reprint. It's a 1/1 for 1. It's not as good now that Bloodthirst isn't around, but it's alright. And now comes another card that I'm very happy to see reprint. Vampire Nighthawk. It's a 2 mana 2/3 flying Death Touch lifelink. Basically, how you win an M12 release, open more Vampire Nighthawks than anyone else. This card's very, very good. And without Lightning Bolt, I think this may see some standard play. I'm not sure. Right now, between Nighthawk, Nocturnus, Bloodline Keeper, and Falconwrath Noble. Not Noble. There was a little bit of momentary distraction, but we're back. I don't remember which one I was talking about, but Nighthawk, good, makes me happy. Okay, now it should be done. So next we have another reprint from Zendikar block. Okay, attempt number 3. So we have Blade Tusk Boar. It's a 4 mana 3/2 Intimidate, another reprint from Zendikar block. I think it's okay. Nothing, insane. Next we have Fire Elemental. It's a 5/4 for 5. Meh. That's all I have to say. Moving on. Next you have Krenko's Command. It's a 2 mana sorcery that puts 2 1/1s onto the battlefield. It's like Gather the Townsfolk, except it's not as good because there's no Goblin champion of the parish. Next you have Rummaging Goblin. It's a 3 mana 1/1. Yeah, it's a reverse looter. It's okay, it's not great. Next we have Smelt Shatter. You have been replaced. It's red, destroy target artifact. Yeah, there you go. And last, in red, we have Volcanic Geyser. It's X red deals X damage to target creature or player. It's no fireball, but it's a big X spell. Another reprint we have here is Acidic Slime. It's a 5. For those of you who don't know, it's a 5 mana 2/2 Death Touch that blows up artifacts, enchantments, or lands. That's a staple in core sets. Next is Bond Beetle. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1/1 counter on target creature. I don't like this guy so much, to be honest. Next we have Elvish Visionary. It's the classic 2 mana cantrip elf. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Next we have Farseek, and now I'm going to go on a little rant. Because Farseek searches your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card and puts it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle your library. Now, between Farseek and Arbor Elf, and all of this talk of basic lands like the Liliana's Shade, saying fetches a swamp, there's clearly going to be some sort of dual type lands in Return to Ravnica. Whether they are the original shock lands or if there's something new. Either way, I have, with all of this as support, I'm going to officially, I've been skeptical till now, but looking at, the more and more evidence that shows up, it makes it really just too obvious that they're trying to go for something, and this is clearly it. Next we have a card I like. It's Mrlubufu Beast Tracker. It's a 3-mana 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature with Death Touch, Hexproof, Reach, or Trample. Reveal it, shuffle your library, and put it on top. I have the odd feeling this is going to be fetching some Sigara Host of Herons in some white-green deck. But otherwise, it still fetches good stuff. I like this card a lot. It's a 3-mana tutor. Next we have a reprint of Prey Upon. So they liked having some green removal in the set, that's for certain. Next we have Ranger's Path. Another piece of evidence that say, search it for 2 forest cards. Well, why forest, right? Well, okay, duh, but so there you go. It's really convincing me that way. Next we have Roaring Primadox. It's a 4/4 for 4 that at the beginning of your upkeep, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. I don't like this guy at all. So it's a 4/4 for 4, yes, but then eventually stuff gets bounced. A reprint of Titanic Growth, which means, again, Giant Growth will not be in this core set. And we have Yiva's Force Mage. It's 3-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. And that's basically it for now. So, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if any of these cards look interesting to you. I'm particularly happy about Nighthawk. It makes me want to see if Red-Black Vamps is a possibility. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe.